my biggest piece of advice is understanding that communication is probably the biggest muscle that you can build. And it's both, and it's multifaceted, right? Like it's communicating with the marketplace to understand what problems there are. It's communicating with your team. It's communicating with your organization to understand what problems everyone's trying to solve, and then prioritizing that. So for me, my advice isn't necessarily like go get a CS degree, get really technical. It's more refine your critical thinking skills and then be able to articulate those things that you're deriving and the needs that need to be met. Practice. So a lot of it is in practice. A lot of it is, for me, has been putting myself in challenging situations when I might not have a fully formed thought yet, just giving it a try. The interesting thing is there are plenty of matrix approaches, and there's plenty of follow these 5 steps. And I think for me, and the advice that I give is just talking to people and then being transparent in what you're learning and taking action. So just continuing to ask questions and re-articulating statements about what you're thinking and continuing that moving forward. But you can't also be just philosophical. Like you have to have something to show for it, right? So being able to demonstrate that you're making progress or have visual artifacts to push that along. And sometimes you're wrong. And sometimes whatever thesis or hypothesis or problem you think you were going to solve or whatever is wrong. But it's just continuing to move it forward and continuing to have those conversations. The future product management will continue to be around communication. We'll be continuing to figure out how to communicate with users, understand what they're trying to do, what they want to ultimately achieve, and being able to tease that out. And then so you're communicating with the user, taking that information, repackaging it to communicate to your team to pursue particular solutions, then repackaging that and communicating it to your development team to implement, repackaging that and then communicating to marketing and customer solutions, and then ultimately the market again. Like it's always continuing to evolve the message that you're putting together. And way back to the beginning too, so that's one thing. The other thing is understanding of technology. No, I said I wasn't technical, but understanding the different technologies that are available and how that can push you forward is critical. So understanding, for example, what machine learning is, understanding what tools and advances are happening there that you may not need to be technical for. There's now interfaces over machine learning that I could use as a somewhat technical, but not like writing code or knowing database, how to write queries and things. Like I can use these things. Just knowing that they're out there and how can you jump over your competition because you took advantage of one of those things, I think is super important.